fundamental right protects citizens from the government. But who guide the government on how to run the country? That is where DPSP comes in. DPSP means Directive Principle of State Policy, the guideline given to the government for creating a welfare state. What is DPSP? As I have already said, DPSP stands for Directive Principle of State Policy. These are guidelines or the instructions given to the state for governance. They help the government making law and policies for social justice, economic welfare, better living, constitution. Important features of DPSP. DPSP is covered from Part 4, Article 36 to Article 51. And the idea of DPSP was borrowed from the Constitution of Ireland. But the instrument of instructions idea came from the Government of India Act 1935. DPSP is non-judiciable, meaning citizens cannot directly go to court to ensure them. Court cannot force the government to implement DPSP. Even though they are not enforceable, Article 37 says DPSP is fundamental in the governance of the country, meaning government should try to implement them while making laws. And DPSP aim to create a welfare state, promote social and economic democracy, reduce inequality, provide improved living standards. B.R. Ambedkar called them novel features of the Constitution, and constitutional expert Granville Austrain called DPSP the conscience of the Constitution. Now let's see the types of DPSP. And it is mainly divided into socialistic principle, Gandhian principle, liberal intellectual principle. We'll see the difference between fundamental rights versus DPSP. And here fundamental rights, judiciable, but the DPSP non-judiciable. And here enforceable, the court. There cannot be enforced by court. And here protected individual liberty, and there protected social welfare. Here political democracy, and there social and economic democracy. Here borrowed from UPSC, and there borrowed from Ireland. In simple, fundamental rights are right to equality. DPSP, equal pay and free health care. Article 38 asks the state to promote welfare of the people. Article 38 of 1. State should create a social order based on social justice, economic justice, and political justice. Purpose: to promote welfare of the people. Article 38(2). States should reduce inequality in income, status, facilities, and opportunities. For example, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guardian Act. And next one, Midday Meal Scheme. Also welfare program. Article 39 continues important economic principles. State should ensure adequate livelihood for men and women, equal pay for equal work, proper distribution of resources, prevention of concentration of wealth. It also promotes workers, women, children. Children should not be forced into unstable work. Workers' health and dignity must be protected. And here, Article 39A, Free Legal Aid. Added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment, State should provide free legal aid and also equal justice for all. Related law, Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. And let's come to Article 40, Village Panchayat. And it says, State should organize villages, Panchayat, and give them power for self-government. This reflects Gandhian principle. Later strengthened by 73rd Constitutional Amendment Panchayat and 74th Constitutional Amendment Urban Local Bodies. So DPSP may not be enforced in courts, but they are extremely important for building a welfare state. They guide the government towards equality, justice, welfare, better living condition. That is why DPSP is called the conscience of the Constitution.